Okay, I am once again in Rooms of Wonder. I do have a different light that I'm trying out, so let me know if this helps at all or if you're getting glares. All right, current book. Um, I want to work on a couple of backgrounds. So we're going to come over here, and I know I did a whole session of backgrounds, like 6 or 8 videos. I don't even know how many it was. But anyway, I just have a couple of pictures here that need backgrounds, and I thought I would just do a little refreshing for us. So here's just a basic stencil, and I thought it might look good here, and then I thought, well, but I think I want to use yellow instead of green. And now that I'm looking at it more, I really think I want to use the green. So I'm like back and forth and back and forth. And then I'm like, well, but if I used blue, it would pick up the color of the chair. So when you're unsure, you can actually take whatever brushes you use and put them down and see how each color looks. See, that purple now I'm really liking because it makes this pop, and purple and yellow are good, so I could do like yellows and oranges on that rug. So all of a sudden I think I'm going with purple. You know, you gotta take it as it comes, and you're never quite sure where that's going to lead you. So I am back with my King Art mixed media gel sticks. Okay, so I am going to grab a purple, and I'm actually grabbing a couple here. What I'm going to do is start with the lighter one, and then I'm going to move to the darker one at the edges. Okay, we've talked before about how you can go darker on the edges and it kind of leads your eye around, or as you're going off the page, it'll bounce your eye back in. So let me move this out of the way. I am going to use this pad over on the side to put my color. And I'm just picking up color, smooshing it into my brush, and then I can actually go right up here to the edge. Now, when you have a stencil that has a straight cut off part, you don't want to go up to that line and just leave it. Now, when I leave, what I'm doing is putting down more of this color over here so I can pick it up again. What you want to do is just not go all the way, okay? Just like I'm going here. Otherwise, if you do, when you flip your stencil, you want to make sure you match that up. So what I'm going to do is come down here to the edge, but not all the way. Now, what I mean by that, let me hold this. I'm not going to do all of the stencil, okay? That's maybe an easier way to say it. I am going to do bits and pieces so that when I leave that area there and here, it doesn't show that I'm leaving it. So notice I did not do here, 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 here. Leave little bits every now and then. And I'm looking at this, and this is more pink than purple. So I'm going to reach over here and grab this one. And let's see how this does. Now, I'm picking up very little at first because I can always go darker. It's hard to go lighter. Okay, so I picked up just a little. And yes, that color is going to be fine. So I'm going to pick up some more. And I will pick up more. These gel sticks are lasting me a good long time. They do compare to gelatos. Not gelato ice cream, gelato sticks of color, or chalk paint. Not chalk paint, chalk pastels. Now I will tell you with chalk pastels, it's a lot messier. But do you see how I skipped around in bits and then went darker up here at the corner? I want to go just a little bit darker yet. And did you see how I kept my hand on there when I flipped this up to look? That is very important when you're using your stencils. Okay, and I am just going to hit a little bit more right in here just to bring the eye back down. Okay, so there's that corner. And see, it's got the points like that, and it does pick up this purple, and yet it doesn't overpower the page. Now hopefully I don't have too much light on there for you. I'm taking the stencil and I'm turning it around, and I'm going to see if this matches up. And it does. A lot of stencils you have to flip them over, and I didn't want to do that. So now what I'm going to do is I can actually match this up right here and keep going. So this time it would have been okay. If I can find the part where it overlaps. Where's that big one? That one right there goes right there. So this time it would have been okay to have gone all the way down to that line. Okay, but I showed you what to do in case it wasn't okay. Now notice that I'm starting on the outside edge. It's because I still have some of that dark color in here, and I'm wanting to get it off before I do the light. Then I'll put some more of the light down. My pencils are rolling around, my gel sticks. All right, and then just keep going. And as that color's getting rubbed off, now I'm back to the light. I'll go in here and just do some light. Just keep, marker it on the table or whatever you're marking on, piece of plastic. Smush it around a little bit and then bring it in here. Like I said, I did a series of backgrounds where I use these gel sticks quite a bit. So you can go back and look there if you need to see some more of me actually using it off on the side. And there we go. And then just a little bit here, just to bring some of that up closer, okay? And then I'm carefully lifting, making sure I have some of this missing area like I do up here. Okay, then I'm going to go on over to the other side. Now, instead of going straight over here, I need to match this. Okay, so there's the big flower. Whoops, I just noticed this little piece didn't get popped out. When you get those, just pull them out, put them to the side. Okay, so the big flower and the big flower right there matches. And then get that lined up as best I want. Yeah, sometimes I don't worry about lining them up a whole lot because it's just a background and it's not the focal point. But I do want it lined up enough that it looks okay. And then I'm just going to hit at this. I'm not going to get all of it. Okay, same thing up here. I'm going to find, there's that big flower right there. Put that down. Load this up. I'm going to go in there a little bit. And see, I'm not being particularly careful around that green. I don't have to be because the gel stick, it's not going over the top, but if it did, the purple wouldn't show up really. Now, if that had been yellow, I would have been very careful. Okay. Now I've got to try and line this up. The big one is right there, which still leaves all this. So I may have to do this in two pieces. Let me see. This is the big one. So if I put it right there, oh, that's going to be okay right there. So I will pick up the lighter shade again. And you'll see this takes time. It really does. But it's so much quicker and easier than going through with pencils and doing all the different background work. That background work can be very, very tedious. You want in some? Let's go ahead. And I do really push on these brushes because I'm really pushing this down into that stencil, down in those little areas. And then I generally will leave the book open or with paper towels between the pages so that it can get a good drying overnight. I mean, you can tell it's not real wet, but it's just a safety precaution. It's one of those just in case moments, you know what I'm saying? Because as soon as I didn't do it, something wacky would happen. Now I'm just going to worry about that corner a little bit, so I'm going to put the dark color back down, pick it up, start light. I can always get darker. And it's hard to get all the way down in there, so I'm just not going to worry about that. I am going to bring a little there, and I'm going to, and see it slid, so I'm just going to grab it back down, and I'm going to do a little bit right here. Okay, yep, that's all right. I'm going to pull it up. Now this is where you hope that this and this match up. So this is a big one, this is a big one. All right, and then over here, it matched perfect. Y'all, if I was laying tile on a floor and that happened, I'd be like, woohoo! It doesn't always happen, in other words. Alrighty, so I put my light color on, and yes, I should have hit the corner first, just in case any of that dark was still on there. And I have a craft mat on my table, and that's what I'm rubbing on. If you don't have a craft mat, you can use a baggie, you can use wax paper, you can use the plastic that the stencil came in, just anything with a slick surface. You can use the glass from a picture frame and then hang that picture back on the wall afterwards. Yes, you can. Now, I'm having to get around here so I can get this top part. And I slid just a smidge. There we go. Yeah, that's because the way I'm holding it. I'm trying not to block it from you, but okay, let's just do this. Okay, now I'm going to do that last bit of dark to accentuate the corner. Oopsie. Well, we'll see what happens when I pick that up. And then smear it a little bit down in here. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to call that done. Okay, see, didn't do bad. It was just right there. So I'm going to call that finished on that background. One thing I do is put these up as soon as I'm finished using them. And then usually I take a paper towel and clean up my mess. But I didn't grab any paper towels. So we'll just leave that, not worry about it. I am going to go to another page. I'm going to go to this page. And I am going to grab a tissue that's laying right there. And I'm going to lay these tissues on this page so that when I'm rubbing, I'm not rubbing any of this onto this page right here. because I'm going to be rubbing on here, and I don't want that to transfer back. So glad I put that box of Kleenex over there because I can wipe this up. So yeah, it's a craft mat. You used to get them at Joann's, Hobby Lobby, and Michael's. I'm not sure who carries them anymore. Now, this is the stencil that I cut a long time ago, and it's not the best, but it works okay. And I want to use these numbers around here because it is a phone. I'm not sure how well that's going to look with the numbers on it, so I don't want to go real bright with it. So I did pull just some brown. Now I'm actually just going to hit at this a little bit and see how it looks. If it looks totally bad, I can just do the whole background brown and not worry about it. Okay, so there you go. Sorry, not an expert by any means. I just don't want something that's going to overpower the phone. You know, I still want it to be a very light background. Let's see what's happening here. You can kind of tell their numbers, so I think I'm going to be okay with it. At this point, I'm just going to keep going. So let me get some more brown. Let me put this on here. Easier to get to than where I was reaching a while ago. And I just picked up a little, and I'm swirling and swirling because I don't want it real dark, because that's not real dark. Okay, so I'm going to go real light here, real light. And then here's the side of my 5 and the side of my 4. So I'm going to get those, and then I'm going to move the stencil to where we repeat, and I think I'm going to move it right there. So pick up a little again. Ooh, I'm glad that went on the stencil instead of the page. It was a glob. It globbed right there too. And you will get that sometimes, okay? You're going to get some of those globs from time to time. Cutting your own stencils, you can. They sell stuff for it at the craft stores, or you can use overhead transparency. You can use old x-rays. You could use those. Okay. So see, the numbers aren't showing up real well, but I think they're showing up enough that you can see what's going on. And I really want my 2 and my 8 and my 9 to show up, just because they really show well as numbers. So I'm going to come over here and just hit at part of that. That's one of those things where the overlay is not a good repeat pattern like the last one was. So I'm having to be more careful about that. Okay, put some more out, pick it up, and go again. Okay, see, that one looks a little bit more like numbers again. And then that bottom corner, I think, let's see, because the numbers do turn and twist, I think I'll do a 5 and a 7 and a 2. I don't think it's going to really show that it repeated that very much. And that 2 is going to show some that it's repeating, but you know, there comes a point where you can only do so much. If you're not going to color your background, you've got to give yourself some grace on some of this. Okay, so then this one looks like that. And no, it's not my best, but you know what? I'm okay with it. In the realm of things, I am okay with it. I'm going to make this clean up, and I have one more stencil to show you that I've not used before, and it is a plaid. I think it's actually called like a buffalo check. And we're going to do it on this page. And then I'm going to come back next session and show you how to do this flower. But here is our buffalo check stencil. And it looks like, here's one here that's not popped out. Usually you can pull them if you need to. Take little baby cuticle scissors to them. Oops, here's another one right here. And just finish cutting what you need to so that you get that out of the way. I actually keep a pair of cuticle scissors in my art go bag and in my my room here close on the back corner of the table. Okay, I think that's most of the pieces. There was a lot of little bitty ones. Whoops, there's another one. So just take the time to look. You'll be glad you did later. And this is a repeat design, so this should be fairly easy too. So I'm going to start right here. And I'm actually, like I said, I'm going to do black. I think the black will make the red look really striking, or at least that's my hope. Okay, so if you use one of these, watch for the holes. Okay, don't color with a hole. See, the closure's on this side, so I'm going to use this side. I just know it's going to take a bit, so instead of keep on filling it up, I just decided to go for it. Okay, I'm going to put some on, and then let's come over here and see how it goes. Now there is a border on this, so I think I'm going to do that, and then we're just going to have to see how it ends up at the bottom. And then I'm not worried about going over the stars because I know that at the end I can use a gel pen and go back over that. So now I'm going to hang on, see with my little fingers, hang on to the paper. See, this one works easier than that last one. The last one had a lot of loose edges that just kept wanting to flip up. And I'm not worrying about some of the spaces being darker than others. Just not going to worry about it. Now, I am going all the way to this edge. See, I put all that out and I've already used it. So, but I don't have to roll those gel sticks very often. So that's why I think it's just not using just a whole lot. I'm not going to go down into that too much. That way, if it doesn't match up perfectly, I'll show you how I can do a little cheat and still make it work. Okay, so this part, ooh, cute. Okay, so I'm picking up. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to see where it lines up at. It lines up right here. See how that border is? So I'm going to turn this upside down. My diagonals are still going the same way, okay? And our time is almost up, but I want to show you how to do this. So line this up. Nope, that is where it is. And then those are not the same. So I'm going to line it up here. And let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down. There we go. I think that's fairly lined up. All right, just scribble right there so I can get this going. So now I'm going to go down here, get that edge, and it did not line up perfect right there, I can tell, but that's okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with this and just go across the bottom. Okay? It would not have lined up perfectly to have given me that border I was looking for. So that's why I'll go across the bottom with this. And it will look kind of like it's a tabletop with this other being in the background. And I could have even done that bottom in green and changed out the color a little. But anyway, I know we are out of time. So I'm just going to keep playing here for just a minute while we let the rest of the time run out. And see, I'm going to reline this up. And this was over here. So just reline up what you've done. I wanted that in just a little bit closer. So there's that. I can even put some of this in that background. See there? A little bit right there. Do these little holes across the top. Oh, I can go ahead and do these just a little bit. And see, by going in between a little, and then my color will cover that. So I'm not worried about it. And then this is here, and it comes on over. And you get the idea. And I'm going to get to move it over one more time just to finish this design off down there. I'm not going to put a whole lot there because there's a light. You know, you'd think black would show up pretty quick on here, but obviously it's not. So now I'm going to go over again, and I'm going to go to right there. That pretty well looks lined up to me. And when I come over to the edge, I'm going to try not to go into this next piece that's here. So I'm going to have my finger there as a stopper. There, then that can go all the way. And then I want just that edge. I could have actually taped that off, and that way I could have gotten just that stripe on the edge and not worried about anything else. Okay. See, and I'm liking the look of that. You might not, but that's okay. All right, so I've got just this bottom one left to do, and I'm going to line it up again. This lines up, this lines up, and then I'm right down here. Now see, this side lined up further down than that one did. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason to some of the things I do. Y'all should know that by now. But anyway, that's it. When I come back, like I said, I will be doing these flowers, and I will tell you the colors then, and we'll have more fun. So I appreciate you stopping by. I'd appreciate it if you'd share my link and help me get some more followers coming in. And other than that, that's it. I will see y'all later. Bye.